Life changes lives.
You guys came.
Welcome to New Life Live, the premier place to receive free advice from Christian psychologists and counselors for the mental, emotional, relational, and spiritual challenges you face. Since 1988, we've offered compassionate responses that combine God's truth with proven psychological principles to guide you toward healing. Our phone lines are open. Call us now at 1-800-229-3000.
Hey everyone, thank you for joining us on New Life Live. I'm your host, Brian Perez. Thrilled to be in the studio today. Clinical psychologist Dr. Jill Hubbard will be joining us shortly. Over on the East Coast, we've got JJ West, who is a very busy man, especially today, which we'll talk to you about a little bit later. Gang, what are you going through? What's got you down? We'll be in the studio for only an hour today, so call in at 1-800-229-3000. Maybe it's a fear of aging. That one hits very close to home, as I mentioned briefly yesterday. Maybe it's an issue with your marriage. Well, please call. Let's help you find your next right step. JJ West, my friend, how do you want to start us off today?
Hey, Brian. It's just so great to be on. It's so great to be you're right. I am busy lately. I've been doing a lot of thinking about marriage as I'm hosting the webinar later tonight. And then, of course, I'm going to be speaking at the Interlude Marriage Retreat in a week and a half from now. And so there's a lot of marriage on my mind. But actually, what I want to start us off with today is this whole idea of how we interpret, especially disappointments in life. Because so oftentimes I think what happens is we'll be on a plan and life is going the way we want it to go. And we think, okay, I'm in God's will. I'm doing what he wants me to do. And then we get hit with this curveball. Some monkey wrench gets thrown in. And then we start wrestling with, okay, so where is this from? Is this God trying to direct me elsewhere? Or is this the enemy trying to, thwart God's plan? And we wrestle, where is this coming from? Who's at fault here, right? And I think a better question to ask is not who's at fault, because the truth is, I think Scripture backs this up. Everything that happens in our lives, whether it's what we wanted to happen or completely opposite of what we wanted to happen and everything in between, everything in our lives, God wants to use for good, to draw us closer to him and to shape us more into his image. And everything that happens, the good, the things we wanted and the things we absolutely didn't want and everything in between, the enemy wants to use to draw us away from God, to get our focus off of him. And so it's really not a question of who's at fault, who sent this. Was it from God or from the enemy? The real question is, how can I allow this thing, whatever it is, whether it's a blessing or a disappointment, how can I let this thing draw me closer to God and shape my character and my image and my goals more in line with who God is and what he has for me, rather than letting this thing take me off track, which is what the enemy wants. And so it changes the way we experience life, and especially the disappointments of life. Instead of wrestling with, why did this happen, God? Now I'm questioning, God, what do you want to do with this disappointment in my life? How do you want to use it to grow me and to help me to be more dependent on you and more aware of your presence in my life?
Very good. Great opening remarks there from JJ West. He's a licensed marriage and family therapist, and he's going to be really busy today. We've got a webinar coming up a little bit later. I'll tell you all the details about that. And right now, we are going to go to the phones, well, in a couple of minutes anyway. 1-800-229-3000 is the number to call. You can talk about what JJ just mentioned on the opening of today's program, or whatever issue it is that you are going through. We would love to try to help you, because you are not alone. that's one thing that we tell you all the time here on New Life Live. You don't have to do these things by yourself. If you don't have a support system, we encourage you to find one, but we might be able to point you in the right direction. So give us a call. We're going to be in the studio for just 1 hour today. 1-800-229-3000 is the number to call, and we'll be back in just a little bit with your questions.
I went to Every Man's Battle in 2012. My sexual integrity was not what it should have been. I sought out affairs, whether physical or emotional. Until I came to Every Man's Battle, I didn't understand that would never fill that void.
Every day, men struggle with sexual integrity. Impure thoughts, strip clubs, affairs, pornography.
The shame and guilt was overwhelming.
For over 20 years, New Life Ministries has been helping men regain their integrity through their one-of-a-kind Every Man's Battle Intensive.
You will discover what the true root of your pain is, and you will discover how to overcome.
You don't have to struggle any longer. Get help in Orange County, California, September 26th through the 28th. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE to register or to find out more. 1-800-639-5433 or online at newlife.com. Enter the code NLL for a discount.
Every Man's Battle saved my life.
1-800-NEW-LIFE and the discount code NLL. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
And even if you're not facing a struggle right now, I'm sure you know someone who is. If a friend has recently shared some heartbreaking news and you weren't sure how to help other than praying with them, please connect them to the hope and healing they need. They can call 1-800-NEW-LIFE for some off-the-air help or send them to newlife.com. Be an encouragement to someone today by pointing them our way for help. 1-800-229-3000 is the number to reach us. And now we're going to go to Steve in Eagle, Idaho, who's listening on KSPD, which is now taking New Life Live 5 days a week. We're so grateful for that. Steve, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much. I appreciate taking my call.
Yeah, what's going on? How can we help you?
Well, I was just talking with one of your associates last week, and he mentioned it'd be a good day to call. I have an adult estranged son. He's 38, and he primarily been the last 2 years where it's just been totally no communication. He has been at the heart of it is the person he married, who basically came into the picture and decided to take this person away from his family, and has been very I would say, I don't want to say the word mean, but has been extremely part of the equation why my son is just totally not communicating any longer. So last communication I had with him is he said there was too much expectation and in the relationship, and I'm not sure if he doesn't follow up on texts or emails or voice messages. I would just like to have a conversation, just really a breakthrough. Not sure where to go. I mean, obviously I pray about it, look to the Lord for solutions, but I could use any kind of advice.
All right. JJ, what would you say to Steve?
Yeah, well, Steve, man, I'm so sorry that you're facing this. I can only imagine. I've got 2 adult children, a son and a daughter. They're not in their 30s yet, they're in their 20s. But I can't imagine a more painful thing to go through as a parent, other than maybe losing your child to death, illness, something like that. But to have your child not be willing to be in communication with you, it's got to be so hard. And so I'm really sorry that you're facing that. I'm glad that you are reaching out for help. I'm glad that you're praying. I'm glad that you're trying to keep the lines of communication open with him. I think all of those are important. Romans 12 tells us, as much as it is up to you, live at peace with all people. And it's important that qualifier is there. God gives us that qualifier in that sometimes it's not up to us. So as much as it is up to you, live at peace with your son and with his wife, but some of that is not up to you. Some of that obviously is up to them and how they choose to respond. I do think it's important to be asking good follow-up questions. So you mentioned that he said recently that there's just too much expectation on the relationship. So anytime your child offers that, anytime a child who is, there's broken communication or there's distance or there's estrangement in some way, if they offer some explanation, what I tell parents all the time is this. Number one, thank them for offering that, because that's vulnerable. That's a risk that he took to share that with you. So you want to thank them for that, and you want to validate the feeling. That doesn't mean that you're going to agree with all of the reasons why he might feel that way, but you're going to validate the feeling. Wow, I'm so sorry that anything I have either said or done or not said and not done has communicated to you that I have expectations for you about the relationship that you can't meet. I don't want to live that way. I don't want to relate with you that way. So I'm sorry for anything that I've done or said that's created that environment for us, right? So I want to validate the feeling. And then I want to dig further. Scripture tells us to be quick, slow to speak, slow to become angry, but quick to listen. Part of how we are quick to listen is by asking follow-up questions. Can you tell me more about that? Thank you for sharing that with me, that there's these expectations that you feel like are put on the relationship. Can you tell me more about that? I want to understand what it is that I'm either saying or doing that's creating this experience of expectations that you can't meet. So can you tell me more about that? And then make a commitment, make a plan to change. So if he gives you further follow-up information, right? Don't correct when he says, well, it's because you always, you text me and then you expect me to text right back. Don't follow. I don't expect you to text right back. What are you talking about? You can text me back whenever you like. Don't bring correction. Not then.
Right.
What we want to do then is to say, thank you again for sharing that with me. I want to be able to communicate clearly with you that I don't have whatever that expectation is that he just shared. Or if I've had it, you're right. I've had that expectation in the past and I don't want to carry that forward. So how can I best communicate with you that whatever time frame you have for responding to me is okay. I just love hearing from you, or whatever the thing is, right? But we're trying to engage in dialogue, not looking for, give me the list so I can shoot down all your reasons and tell you why you're wrong, or tell you why your spouse is wrong. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Steve.
No, that'd be very detrimental. That'd be very detrimental to future conversation.
Correct.
So
correct.
The last conversation I had with him, I was meaning to be transparent, but I did relay to him that the last 10, 12 years have been very hurtful. With how they've communicated with me and my wife, and that was it. I mean, that was the end of it. I thought that was being honest and truthful. But I think that was probably what broke it apart.
Yeah, Dr. Jill, what would you add?
Well, hi, Steve. I'm wondering if, in knowing your son his whole life, if he is a kid that gets overwhelmed, or was a kid that got overwhelmed easily, felt like people did expect a lot from him, maybe perfectionistic in any way. Did you notice that?
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Yes, for sure.
Okay. So he easily feels those things. And now, I don't know what was said about his wife, but if he's now got to meet the expectations of his wife, he may very much feel caught in the middle between what he imagines his parents expect of him and what he feels his wife expects of him. So part of it is your son is needing to kind of still grow into being a man and not being in that position of fearing always being in trouble. And so if he has to choose, obviously being married, he has to choose his wife because he lives with her, which is always a heartbreaking position for parents. So I really like what JJ was saying. You have to take a very humbled position, realize who your son is, and not be a burden in his life, because you are the one that is, you're the closest to him, in a sense, you and your wife. And so kids can, bag on their parents in order to not drown. And so you become the casualty. So I like, again, what JJ was saying, and it's like you want to see how you can support him, not burden him. And that, so even if, like JJ was saying, you see it totally differently, this is his interpretation. And so being supportive of the fact that, wow, that would feel like a burden if you were anticipating that we had these high expectations for you, or, you thought this. Now, Steve, did you say, though, he's not been talking to you, right?
No, there's been no commitment for a couple of years.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. That is the most painful thing. Go ahead.
But you're spot on. She's in control.
Yes.
So that's it, and he's yet to grow into the role of having family, having parents, having
balancing everything. He doesn't do that very well.
Exactly.
Yeah. And even in knowing her, have you guys been able to maybe connect with her? Is she threatened by you and your wife?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. She absolutely. She'll do everything she can to prevent us from ever talking to him again.
Wow. And so I don't know if there's any way to work on the connection with her, to reach out to her. And
absolutely dead end. Yeah.
Dead end?
Total dead end.
Okay.
Well, I think we'll send you a copy of Doing Life with Your Adult Children by Dr. Jim Burns. That's available in the newlife.com store. So stay on the phone, Steve, and we will send that to you. And it looks like we have another call on a similar topic here. Man, estrangement is just...
It's heartbreaking.
It is.
It's this all or nothing culture right now.
Samantha in Chicago, who was referred to New Life Live by a friend of hers. First of all, Samantha, thank your friend on our behalf. How can we help you today?
Hi, yes, thank you for having me. It's not really a specific question. It is loneliness that I am dealing with. And it's not loneliness like a lot of people think it's lonely, that you need a man or a woman, or it could be lonely in a group. It's loneliness stemming from 20 years ago, a sexual thing that happened between my daughter and my brother. And when my father died when I was in 2012, last time that I spoke to him, he said to me that he feels very sorry for me because I'm never going to have anybody. And I asked him why, and he said because of what I did to my brother. And I didn't do anything. I didn't even have an attorney. It was a DCFS thing. And so my family's very dysfunctional anyways, but it's a very dark hole that I lead in my life right now, because of that. And I also have 2 daughters, and the eldest one has estranged me a second time. And I have 4 grandchildren, and this whole year I haven't been invited to any one of their parties. I asked her why, but I never got a response. I tried texting her, and for the past 2 years I was asking her if we can have a mediator, and she would just tell me, you're stressing me out, and she finally agreed to it about a month ago, and I've asked her on 2 different occasions, can we have this mediator? Do you have a Sunday for me? No, Mom. The kids are all in sports right now, and I don't have a time yet. So now that they're in school, and she should have her schedules, and I see her on Facebook with doing many different things. And
right.
I asked her again, do you have a Sunday? No, I don't. And I said, you don't have one Sunday for me. And she said, no, and that was like a week ago, and she doesn't answer.
You only can do it on Sunday? I mean, Sunday typically is a family day.
I have a Christian friend of mine, an elder. She's like in her 70s, and Sunday would be like the best. And I kind of think it would be the best probably for my daughter. She may possibly be able to do like a Saturday or even a weekday evening, but I know my daughter won't be able to do that with her 4 children.
Gotcha.
And also she posts on Facebook when I was going to block her on Facebook, and I was all confused. Should I block her even because she said something. My father remarried when I was 13, and she said on there, happy birthday, Grandma, and I'm thank you for everything. I am where I am today because of you. And it's just like all these daggers, and on Christmases and holidays, I told her, when my children were younger, I said, you guys go with your dad because I don't really have family, and I didn't bring any of this up to my younger daughter, the pain and everything that I went through over that situation, because I didn't want her to be hurt. So
what's your main question for us today, Samantha?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Just how do I get out of it? I don't know.
Well, it's a whole lifetime of hurt, Samantha. There's a lot of things to untangle, and your daughter really isn't saying, I don't have time. She's saying, I don't have time to go into these feelings. Right? That it feels like a lot. And even what you just shared with us, it is a lot, Samantha. You are carrying a lot here. And I think it's important. I'm glad you have this friend that's willing to be a mediator. Do you have community around you? Have you been in therapy to deal with some of these? Even your dad's parting words to you. How hurtful is that?
Yeah. We'll continue our conversation with Samantha when we come back. It is time for us to take our break here on New Life Live. And if you've got a question for Dr. Jill Hubbard or JJ West, the number to call is 1-800-229-3000. 1-800-229-3000. We're going to be here in the studio for the rest of the hour, and we would love to speak with you. If you're watching online right now, call in 1-800-229-3000.
The Life Recovery Conference is online Saturday, October 4th. It isn't just for those struggling with addiction. It's for anyone ready to break free from destructive patterns and build a foundation for lasting change. Our expert speakers will equip you with biblical tools to face life's toughest challenges and find real transformation. You'll walk away with practical strategies to overcome anxiety, shame, and relational struggles, plus biblical wisdom for grief, finances, and identity. You'll also gain tools to recognize unhealthy patterns and clear action steps to choose wisdom every day. The Life Recovery Conference is for everyone. Whether you're just beginning your journey, looking for fresh tools, supporting a loved one, or leading others, you'll find hope, direction, and encouragement. Change starts with one step. Register today for the Choosing Wisdom New Life Recovery Conference at newlife.com or call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433. Club New Life changes lives.
You guys came along into my life in 2022. That was a really, really difficult year of my life.
You can help New Life Ministries provide Christ-centered hope and counseling resources to thousands of people by joining Club New Life today.
I began to really process a lot of things that I've needed to for a long time, and y'all were a very big part of that.
When you sign up to support us monthly through Club New Life, you'll make a difference in the lives of individuals and families with godly counsel and connection to help.
I came out of it having never experienced anything like that, and y'all were there.
Join today and help continue the message of hope to a troubled world.
I knew I had to keep going, and I joined Club New Life, and y'all have been the resource that has now been a light for my wife and I.
Go to newlife.com/CNL, and together we can help hurting people find help and hope in life's hardest places.
Keep doing what you do because it makes a difference.
newlife.com/CNL. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
And let's go back to Samantha in Chicago. You still with us there, Samantha?
Hi.
Hi. So, Samantha, I was kind of asking you before the break about your community, your emotional support around you, therapy. What have you done?
Yes, I really don't have anybody. I have that Christian elderly woman that's been having me call her, and my other friend that's the one that told me about you guys and gave me your phone number to call in. I don't have medical. I've been out of a job now for a year. I have an MBA, and I can't even find a job. I work part-time at Jewel, so I don't have any medical right now.
Okay. Well, Samantha, I think I think I'm sorry. The loneliness is really hard, but you're lacking community and connection everywhere at every turn. And I'm really sad about what your dad said to you. I mean, maybe he was trying to tell you, Samantha, do something, or this is going to be the outcome. But his words don't need to be the rest of your life. I think the hope with your daughters is that you have to get in a better place emotionally so that they don't feel like you will be totally dependent on them for relationship. I think kids feel their parents. Kids feel their mothers, right? And if they feel like you are heavily burdened and there's a lot of weight there emotionally and that you're looking for someplace to land, they're going to resist that. But if you have anchors in your life, places where you can go and share, you will have a feeling of being a little lighter with them, and that they aren't the ones that have to, in a sense, support you. They could have relationship with you without having to carry it for you. And so
relationship, not responsibility.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And so and it's always a challenge when people don't have resources, but it's not impossible because there are usually wonderful groups that churches offer. There are 12-step communities. There are life recovery groups. And even if you don't fit into the group exactly, it can be a wonderful support, like even a CODA group, where, you look at how you are dependent on other relationships and how to take care of your side of the street. That can be very helpful in reframing relationships and would be a good community. It has a structure, but there's honest sharing. You don't have to do all the, the social niceties that take forever to build up relationship. And you can dive in, and it's a form of therapy. And that may be a good place for you to start.
Yeah. JJ, what would you say?
Okay.
Yeah, I would add to that, one of the ways that maybe it feels like you're burdening or your daughters are responsible is even in the way that you're asking for this mediation. What I heard, and I don't think you meant to present it this way, but what I heard was, I'm going to use my mediator and it has to be on my timetable, as opposed to saying to your daughter, my commitment and my desire is to have a better relationship with you. And so what timetable works for you and your schedule? And do you want to meet with the woman that I've been meeting with as the mediator for us? Or would you feel more comfortable choosing a mediator yourself? I'm going to make the effort to be in relationship with you. It doesn't have to be on my terms. So you're not responsible for taking care of me emotionally. I just want to have a relationship with you. And that requires us to stretch some, right? Because I may have to be uncomfortable if I have to go meet with, say, her counselor instead of the person that I've been talking to. Or I need to go to, I don't know if she lives in the same town or she lives in a different state or whatever, but I'm going to make the effort to go to you. It makes us a little bit more uncomfortable, but it's showing the commitment to the relationship rather than saying it has to be all on my terms. Even if you weren't trying to communicate that, if you lay it out that way, she could read it as, oh, it has to be mom's mediator. It has to be on a Sunday. It has to be whenever she wants instead of what's helpful for me, right? So we want to just be clear in our communication that I'm going to take on as much responsibility as possible, and you're not responsible for me.
Right, that you're acknowledging, daughter, I know you have 4 kids. You're really busy.
Yeah.
So you tell me what works for you, because my goal is to be a better support to you in your life and have relationship, not to be, and I would even say not to be a burden to you. That is not my goal. And even let her know I'm getting help for myself. And so I'm wanting to reach out to you.
Samantha, stay on hold because we want to send you a resource from the newlife.com store. But what do you think of the advice that JJ and Dr. Jill just gave you?
It's good, but it's not on the right path. I'm not there to, give my daughters burden about my life. It's just everything that I'm accused of, or nobody sees my side of the story. Nobody hears. I never told my daughter about any of the stuff that I went through. So, and nor am I looking to kind of to do that. But it's just that it's like Target is at me, and my other daughter knows I've been to a therapist twice during COVID with her therapist. And I've been asking her, and I brought this up to her about a mediator. What do you think about a mediator? So it was approached, in such a way to her.
Okay.
And she was just like, freaking out and saying, I'm being stressed out. You're stressing me out just off of that situation.
All right. So what resource should we send to Samantha from the newlife.com store? What would you guys recommend? We have so many.
I would start with boundaries.
Okay.
Just as a way to help define, here's what I'm working on for me.
All right.
Not here's what I'm working on for you.
Okay. So stay on the phone, Samantha, and we'll send you a copy of Boundaries. Keela, you are next on New Life Live.
I became aware that my husband had had an affair. He was viewing porn on the computer. I was totally unaware of anything like sex addiction. Through the workshop, I truly believe my soul has been restored. The workshop educated me about what sex addiction was. It also gave me courage. I learned how to stand up for myself. Without a doubt, it was the most significant thing that I did.
The Restore Intensive is coming to Washington, D.C. November 7th to the 9th. Register online at newlife.com or call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Enter the code NLL for a discount.
That workshop is where I found the tools and the people to heal from this most heartbreaking thing of my life.
1-800-NEW-LIFE and the discount code NLL. Do you need help for life's hard situations?
My husband recently said he wanted a divorce.
I'm confused on what I should do.
I have an eating disorder.
New Life Live answers your questions on relationships, grief, addiction, trauma, anxiety, and much more, all from a biblical perspective with our panel of professional counselors and psychologists.
I learn a lot from your program.
You help so many people.
I appreciate your ministry.
Whether you listen or watch, there are so many ways to connect with us to ask our panel of counselors a question. Call us Monday through Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific at 1-800-229-3000 to ask your question on New Life Live. Or go to newlife.com/radio for other ways to get your question answered.
I'm trying to find help.
I just want to know how to set boundaries.
If it's a sin, what am I supposed to do?
Need a therapist or a coach, a resource, or an intensive? Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433. 1-800-NEW-LIFE. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
So I mentioned earlier today that JJ West is going to be a busy man today. JJ, I hope you ate your Wheaties this morning because not only are you on New Life Live for the rest of the hour, but you're presenting a webinar later on that everyone can still sign up for. Tell us why every married couple should watch the webinar this evening, even if their spouse can't watch along with them.
Yeah, every couple should watch because every couple struggles.
Yes.
Pain, disappointment, all of these things impact every single marriage. None of us are immune from that. Now, some of us may encounter a heavier dose of that pain and disappointment, but we all encounter pain. We all encounter struggle. We all go through seasons where it feels like we're just not connected. And so it's going to be a really powerful time together. We're going to look at the 6 deadly D's of marriage, as well as what are the 6 P's that bring us back together, that renew our love for one another. I really think it's going to be helpful for every couple, whether you're attending as a couple, husband and wife, or if you're attending just as an individual, because we're going to also talk about what does it look like to relate to a spouse who's just not spiritually engaged with you. So something for everyone.
Yeah, this begins at 7 p.m. Central. You can register right now by calling 1-800-NEW-LIFE or search for the word webinar at newlife.com. It's less than $20 per person. And, if for whatever reason you can't join us this evening. Register anyway, because we'll send you a link afterwards that's good for a few days so that you can watch the webinar later. Something else that JJ is doing, man, we are keeping this guy busy. 2 weekend workshops. First, it's the Everyman's Battle Intensive, where JJ will help guys find a new life of freedom. It's not too late to sign up for this. It's happening September 26th through the 28th in lovely Orange County, California. And then in October, we're sending JJ to Dallas, Texas for the Intimacy and Marriage Workshop for married and engaged couples. Get details about both of these transformational weekends by calling 1-800-NEW-LIFE or at newlife.com. And after that, I think he's going to help repaint Dr. Jill's house. So yeah, we're just constantly finding something for JJ to do. All right, let's go to the phones. Here is Keela, who is in Atlanta, Georgia. Welcome to New Life Live, Keela. Thanks for responding to our text to call in.
Okay. I had a question about anxiety, but actually I need another question answered. I wanted to change and say that my question is about, I was molested when I was younger, little girl, and then I told my mom, and my stepfather was in the room. He was the one that had molested me, and he started crying. He said he thought I knew, and then he started crying, and I was sitting on the couch. She went over to him and started comforting him, and that really caused some pain for me. And I felt like, it made me feel like I didn't matter, and it was like I started suppressing my emotions. And she stayed married to him for 30 years. She never left him. So eventually he stopped molesting me when I got like a teenager or whatever. But, it was just really difficult. So I just want to know if you guys had any in your life for me.
Wow. All right. Dr. Jill?
Well, no wonder why you have anxiety, because that was your original question, correct?
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah.
Because that's can be a symptom of other things going on, especially when we're cutting off emotion. Then it kind of becomes this, ball of anxiety, and we don't really know how to define it. But there are deeper things under the surface. So first of all, Keela, I'm so sorry you had to live with that, and that your mom was more afraid of losing her husband than taking care of you.
Yeah.
That really hurts. Keela, have you done some work on this?
Actually, I talked to a therapist. I go to a mental health center, and a therapist came in and talked to me. We did one-on-one, and that really helped me. But she's now no longer here, so I'm not doing really any just one-on-one. One of the therapists here, we went over this today, and that's how I figured out that I was suppressing emotions and everything like that. I didn't even realize it and I felt like I didn't matter and all that today when we were talking in a group session, but not one-on-one. But she did say that I could come to her and talk to her. I don't know when we have private time, though, because she sits out with the group, and she doesn't go in the room. We can just go privately and talk. So I don't know how I'd be able to talk to her, but so that's what the situation is. So
I would say, Keita, that you start with saying to her, I know that there's some things I need to talk to you about. I don't know logistically how it works, whether we set up a time regularly, whether weekly or a couple times a week or whatever, but I know that I need to have some one-on-one conversations with you. One, about the trauma that I went through being molested as a child, and then two, the trauma I went through when I finally disclosed to my mom and my stepdad, and she decided to care for my stepdad rather than me. And so then I made the decision at that point, I'm going to shut down my emotions. I'm not going to share. I need to work through both of those traumas, as well as this anxiety, this overriding anxiety in my life, which understandable. If you grew up in a situation where you didn't feel safe, which that's what sexual abuse does, it causes us to not feel safe in the world around us. Well, that bleeds then into all the other areas of my life. That starts to be the way I view the world, that the world is not safe, that the world is a dangerous, anxiety-producing place. And so it's all kind of linked together. And since you have this opportunity where this person is saying she's going to make herself available, you probably just need to have that one next conversation to say, okay, I'm in. Now what do we do? How do we set these appointments up? How do I get with you one-on-one? because I need to have this, I need to have the space to work through this stuff. It's not going to happen in just one session. It's going to need to be over multiple conversations, one-on-one, as well as then beginning to work some of that stuff out in the group setting as well.
Do you think Take Your Life Back would be a good resource for Keela?
Yeah, I think that would be a fantastic resource. Yeah.
All right. Keela, stay on the phone and we will send you a copy of the book, Take Your Life Back, from the newlife.com store. You know, when you give to New Life, you're supporting life-changing programs that combine God's Word with practical professional help. We don't want you to give till it hurts, but to give because there are hurting people who need help and healing of their hearts and minds. Every gift makes a difference. You can give by calling 1-800-NEW-LIFE or online at newlife.com, or you can put your thumbs to good use by texting NLM to 28950. And as always, God bless you for whatever you can do. Let's talk to Michelle now. She's in Pendleton, Oregon, and she is a new listener to New Life Live. Hi, Michelle. How'd you find out about us?
I was just driving in my car, and I was flipping through the stations, and I heard your guys' program, and I thought, oh my gosh, I've never heard this before. So
wow.
I'd call in.
Yes. So how can we help you?
Yeah, so recently I found out that my dad is not my biological dad. I am 43 years old, and I found out in a horrific way that I won't get into, but I found out that I was conceived through gang rape. This is pretty significant for a number of reasons. I mean, the obvious, but I'm also a survivor myself, and my job, I'm actually a victim's advocate, and I work with survivors for, the past 10 plus years, and that's just been my calling that God's put on my heart. The thing that I'm wrestling with that I can't quite shake is this feeling that I've got, like, the DNA, I've got part of this monster inside of me that I can't get rid of. And, you know, I love the Lord. My husband's a pastor. I know God's word is, fearfully and wonderfully made. And I think, how does that even come together? Yeah. I can't even, that is one of my biggest struggles right now, and no one seems to be able to really help me navigate that.
Wow. Dr. Jill?
Wow, Michelle. Go ahead.
Go ahead, JJ.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Michelle, my heart breaks for you as you're walking through this. I mean, I don't know how recently you found out this information. Sounds like pretty recently. There's a few things that stand out to me. A couple of passages from Scripture that kind of relate to what you're talking about. One is, do you remember the story where Peter was up on the roof and he's praying, and then he has the vision, and God lets down the big blanket filled with all the unclean animals, and he tells Peter, get up, kill, and eat. And he goes, no, Lord, I've never had any unclean food. And this happens a few times. I'm hearing music. Sounds like
I think you can wrap up in a few seconds, JJ.
Okay, just so the gist of that story is that God says to Peter, "Don't call unclean what I have called clean." And I think that the enemy is trying to convince you that you're unclean when God has said, "No, Michelle, you are clean." I want to say more about that on the other side of the break, but that's where I start.
Yeah, Michelle, don't hang up. We'll come back to you here on New Life Live, but it is time to take a break. We'll be right back.
I was sort of vaguely familiar that the 12 steps had some origination in the Bible. I found Life Recovery, and one of the things I liked so much was that it had such a broad appeal. It wasn't limited to just alcohol or drugs, that it was addressing a wide range of problems.
At New Life, we believe everyone can benefit from a life recovery experience. There are life recovery groups all over the country. They take place online, in conference calls, and in person. And if there isn't one in your area, we can help you start one. We have startup materials, leaders' guides, CDs, Bibles, and more, all with discounts available for groups. Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE and ask for Terry Ward. The 12 Steps have long been a great help to people in recovery because much of the 12 Steps power comes from the fact that they capture principles clearly revealed in the Bible.
The 12 steps is really a pattern for all of us as Christians.
Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433. For over 35 years, New Life has been the most trusted name in Christian counseling.
Your ministry has saved my life.
If you struggle with emotional hurt, family or marriage problems, the pit of depression, or the pain of addiction, we can help.
I'm down 100 pounds now from what I was.
I found a counselor through New Life Ministries, and it's just been outstanding.
Our treatment programs provide clinically appropriate solutions from licensed professionals, all in a biblical framework.
I have had problems with alcohol. I think God has ordained this place to be His.
You don't have to be a prisoner of your pain. Help is available at 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
She tells me that I'm a new man, and I feel like a new man.
It worked for me, and it can work for them too.
This time it is different.
If you're ready to take the first steps toward genuine spiritual and emotional healing, call us today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. God can open the door for a better tomorrow.
To get someone that's competent, that's good at what they do, it's been like day and night compared to what I've had before.
Call 1-800-639-5433. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
And we're back with Michelle from Pendleton, Oregon, who just found out about New Life Live today and decided to call in. Thank you so much for calling in, Michelle. JJ West, I think you had some more that you wanted to tell her.
Yeah, so we've got that story, right, of God saying to us, don't call unclean what I have called clean. And, you can hear that as like this command, like, don't you do that. Or you can hear it as encouragement that look at what I have done. And I think that kind of leads me into the second story that I want to highlight, which is when Jesus and the disciples were walking along the road, and there was a man on the side of the road begging, and he was born blind. And the question was asked by the disciples, Jesus, who sinned, this man or his parents, that he was born blind? Because back then the theology was that if you encountered something like blindness, some kind of physical abnormality, that it was the result of somebody's sin. And Jesus did not. He goes, no, it's not about that. Listen, guys, you're on the wrong track. He says the whole reason this happened is so that God's glory could be displayed. And I think that that's part of what God would say, Michelle, to you, that this horrible thing that happened, I can't imagine a more horrific thing than gang rape. But this horrible thing that happened is not to dictate who you are as a person, but so that God's glory could be on display, that God could take something as horrific as gang rape and turn it into this beautiful life that you are, and how you are allowing your life to be in service to others who are hurting, who have been abused. Oh my gosh, that's how God redeems, right? Yeah. That's His economy. He takes something that's completely broken and awful, and He uses it for good. And then I'll close with this, because I know Jill wants to talk too.
Well, you're on a good roll.
in the Old Testament, early on, the belief was that the sins of the fathers are revisited to the third and fourth generation. So in other words, if your father sinned in some way, that the result of that, or the consequence of that, would be revisited on you. And God said, no. Here's what we're going to do. Each person is going to be responsible for their own sin. And so you're not responsible for the sin of your father. You're responsible for the life that you live. And then Jill was also going to tag on.
Right. So that was kind of, Michelle, where I was going to go with it, right? We each have a choice when we're born into this world. And we don't know. I mean, I don't even want to call him your father, because he's a sperm donor. We don't know what his life was about and why he chose the way he chose. But he chose, to walk down evil and to take matters into his own hands.
Yeah.
We all get to choose. You get to choose. You've been given this life, and you have chosen very differently. And like what JJ was saying, it is not dependent on how you were conceived. Because here, you didn't even know for years.
Yeah.
And look at the good that was in you. Look at your ability to choose good versus his, right? And thank goodness, even though I'm so sorry you had to learn this, but thank goodness maybe you didn't know, because that might have colored how you saw yourself in those developing years. But you were able to develop into the person that you are, and become a Christian and move and do good in the world and marry well and do all those things. And then you found out about this horrific past. So this is just... Yeah, I love, JJ, what you said. This is what God used. This is what man meant for evil, but God meant it for good. And we're so glad you're here, Michelle.
That's right. That's
Thank
right.
you.
You know, I've got to say one other thing. I have a family member who was conceived through sexual abuse and who was then adopted by some family members of ours. And I can't imagine this world without this little girl. I can't imagine this world without her heart, her beautiful, beaming smile, her warmth, her strength. And so, and even though, Michelle, I don't know you, God knows you, and other people know you, and they feel the same way about you. They can't imagine this world existing without you in it.
Yeah.
And so I'm so glad that you exist. I hate the way how it started, but I'm so glad that God takes all of this brokenness, just as Jill said, and uses it for good. And we get to have Michelle in the world. So thank you. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, and your mom, your mom didn't choose to end her pregnancy.
Right.
She chose to have you. That was a hard choice to make.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good for her.
So, Michelle, how long ago did you find out about this again? I'm sorry.
Yeah, so October is when I found out through Ancestry, actually, that my dad wasn't my dad. And then I prayed about how I would talk with my mom, because my mom was a teen parent, and so my dad was too, as far as I knew. And so I thought, well, you know, my mom wasn't living for the Lord, and so maybe she's making other choices, and I didn't want to hurt my dad. And so I spent a few months actually praying over it. And then I went and talked with her, and she had no idea, actually, about it. And then it came out that my dad had heard rumors that, you know, my mom was making choices, and some things happened, and they ended up being true. And
wow.
So I found
so
that
your mom,
out in
your mom
March.
discovered at the same time you did.
Pretty much, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It was pretty.
So it wasn't that she was keeping it from you.
Right. She wasn't.
Gotcha.
My dad kind of was, but it was like he had heard rumors, and they were teenagers, and my dad just decided that whether I was his or not, you know, he was going to be there for me and my mom. And so, you know, there was that. And so.
So the reason I asked how long it's been is because I'm just wondering, like, in the last few months, what is it? Is it a thought that comes through your mind every now and then of you know, how you were conceived, and like you put it originally, that you know, you've got this monster
living in.
Yeah.
So it hit me the night I learned everything. It was pretty awful how I found out. It's all through text message, and it was just really ugly. And so it hit me so hard that I was in the hospital for a week.
Wow.
And had to go through, I've been in therapy as well as EMDR every week since then, and doing all the things, you know. And I think for me, for the longest time, I'd look in the mirror and I think, is that his eyes? Is that his nose?
Oh my goodness.
You know, just things you don't think about, you know.
Yeah.
And
but you're still getting these recurring thoughts, and that's what we want.
Well,
yeah.
Michelle, you're in the process.
It's not as much.
You're in the process of working this through, and it's been a shock to your system, and we all have a need to know where we came from, right? And when you get that new information, of course, you're going to wonder all of those things. But I'm so glad that you have gotten the help and that you're continuing to do so, because it's a journey, but you will get there.
Yeah. What resource would you guys suggest from the newlife.com store that we send to Michelle there in Pendleton, Oregon, our new listener?
Can we send her Take Your Life Back?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
We'll get you a copy of Take Your Life Back, Michelle. Stay on the phone and we'll send you that at no cost. It's something we have available in the newlife.com store too. So if anybody else might be interested in that book or one of the several resources that we offer, check it out. newlife.com in the store. By the way, were you going to say something really quick, JJ? Got like
Never
10
mind.
seconds.
Don't worry about it.
Okay, never mind then. So we'll talk to you tomorrow here on New Life Live, and make sure you sign up for the marriage webinar starting at 7 p.m. Central, and you can go to newlife.com to find out all about it. God bless you guys.
Thanks for listening. We hope this program has helped you by giving you insights for handling the challenges you face in your life. We want you to know that we're here for you, but you also need to know that New Life Live is a listener-supported ministry. To make your donation or to get any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433 or online at newlife.com. Please join us again tomorrow for New Life Live.